She gets an award. She has got an award because of all the appreciation and independently being assessed of what all she has done in a contribution in the area of healthcare. Sangam Savan Dinesh also was felicitated. I would like to wish him also all the best. And Arjun Mahekar also from the Director of Health Services. I come here with a very different passion. I was listening to Madam. I was looking at her trying to find out who is she. So basically, I just was listening to a speech as I was coming in on the last defense. And basically, like Mrs. Parvatkar said, Rekha Parvatkar ji said about my knowing me, yes, it's a long journey from when I started as a General Secretary to running the Health Ministry for the last 17th year. I don't know also because I always start with health. And it's very important. All of you who are here today, I see many young faces, lot of young nurses. You know, it has taken us a lot of effort. तुमका सगळ्यांक जॉब आणि opportunities तैयार करून शिकोवपाक and इनको पढ़ाने के लिए, सिखाने के लिए, and also to try to create that type of momentum in the area of healthcare. It has taken us a lot of effort. And it has not happened over 1 year, 2 years, like Rekha Parvatkar said. If you ask her, 20 years back, she's here 26 years, she said. So 30 years. So if you look at 30 years back, the healthcare scenario in the state of Goa, and my OSD Rajendra Desai, she was Director of Health Services. So along with her, the journey starts. And actually when I started, I would like to mention, she will agree with me, that when I had my daughter, when she was born 26 years back, the situation was very bad in Goa Medical College. There was no arrangement for any child to survive. There, every parent had to intubate the patient, they used to pump the patient and give oxygen to the child to survive. And they used to sit whole night, and I have gone and seen this with my own hand. The own eyes, I have gone and seen it and seen how they used to use the hand and they used to get tired actually trying to make that child use the pump and actually survive. Bandicutes used to come and pull out the fingers and eyes of the children, and that is how our government hospital was. Today we are proud that we have a fantastic institution. Still lots has to be done. When I say fantastic institution, means we have built infrastructure. We have you as our human resources. And you are the people without which no institution can run. Nurses is a very special community that helps the doctor completes his procedure, that helps anything to be a success. Then your effort is very important and needs to be appreciated. I always say that out of all the chaos that takes place in the hospital, it is chaotic. People are not sure whether the relatives are going to survive. People are there in the hospital trying to see what is the outcome for their patient. And when they are going through all this chaos and that type of situation, it is you who have to maintain the calm. All the nurses who are there in the Goa Medical College and the DHS, they are the people with the skilled hands, they are the people with the sharp minds and unbreakable hearts. It is you who have to keep everything going. It is you who have to actually understand how you can use your heart. I am saying your heart in trying to go one step beyond in seeing that you are able to deal with the people who are actually, some of them who are successfully coming out of the hospital, who are procedures are successful, and some people who are about to lose their loved ones. You are standing next to them when you actually see the monitor. Many times the monitor is beeping in the right manner. There are times when the monitor is about to shut and it's going to be a flat line. And that's when you have to hold their hand and give them that confidence. You know, everything is there, but you need to hold them and give them that confidence and that love and affection, which makes a big difference in people's life. It is very important for you to understand that you defend dignity when the body fails. That is a sentence that you should always keep in mind. You defend hope when numbers look grim. You defend comfort when pain tries to take over. All this is very important. You also are there when you wipe the tears of the relatives and deal with them in a very different way. It is very easy to say and come and say, you know, I was listening to your speech, but it is very important for us to understand that these are the basic aspects that we need to keep in mind before we actually progress in life. It is important with nursing community and nursing All of you, you hold trembling hands, you wipe the tears of the patient, and you must do that. It is you who can make the change that is required in the field of health. Goa is a very small state. We have built a lot of health infrastructure, created health infrastructure in which through that health infrastructure you have started growing, getting job opportunities, which doesn't happen in many other states. Other states, people continue to be on contractual basis for years to come, but we have created that type of, and thousands of nurses we have recruited over the last so many years. You are doing a phenomenal job. I especially came here because I missed last function. I think that was organized in Honda. I just could not reach there. And today I said I must not miss it. And I came here only to tell you that, you are very special. Don't go by what media says, don't go by anything. What place you hold in my heart, that is most important. I really care about the work that is done by you. I really care about the compassion with which you work, the love that you give the patients. A lot of people say so many things. A nurse अशें केलें ना, ते nurse तशें केलें ना, पण तांकां खरेंच खबर नासता की nurse कितें करता. And सोपें नासता ते nurse पेशंटाक सांबाळपाक. केन्ना केन्ना कठीण परिस्थिती आसा. And it's very important for us to understand how do we move forward, how do we see that this noble profession is further strengthened. As a result of which I always have been saying, nobody has understood me, that state cares. Now I am coming out with the tender, which also incorporates the second line for the nurses, so that you have the caretaker which is integrated with the health system, so that you can work hand in hand with the, so that you are able to deal with the patient in a much more better manner. आयज केन्ना केन्ना लोक म्हणटा आपल्या पेशंटाक रायस ट्यूब घातलेले आसा पूण नर्सान लक्ष दिवंक ना. तांकां खबर ना की कशें कितें सिस्टमॅटिकली चलता. वाय दे से दॅट बिकॉज दे डोंट नो what is happening with the patient. They want to see response from the patient. They want to see that the patient should not be on the right street. They want the patient to be normal as early as possible. That's why we have to understand and we have to go in that particular direction. Today, your conference which you held felicitated Raksha Parvatkar, who is also my classmate. I was actually very touched. She remembered that I was a classmate and I was the general secretary of the college. I should not talk much. I was one of those backbenchers who used to get scared of even making a presentation when I was doing my MBA. I used to watch everybody and my roll number was 61. I was the last student of the class. I used to say everybody what they did and then accordingly I had to go and make my presentation. But today the roles have changed. All my classmates say that you are not the same guy who used to sit on the last bench, but today you are sitting on the front bench addressing people. But that comes from your heart. Everything that we need to learn. I always tell people that experiences and not reels. Reels are something that are all artificially created. Today you can use AI and create what you want, but this is real life experiences that you create. Your community has to be treated with a different type of dignity and respect. And that is what we want to do, we are doing in the state of work. Many times people feel that Vishwajit Rane is a very aggressive kind of a guy. It's not aggressive. I know them and I know the system for last so many years. A person who doesn't know the system will understand. The younger generation should actually learn from the elders. Nilima Rane is there. Raksha Parvatkar has won a presidential award. It's the great thing. If you actually have to reach that level, then you have to actually learn and actually imbibe those values that she has in order to progress in life. If I say that I want to grow in my political journey, it will not happen. So I will give you a small example. Somebody came and sat with me. He said, Rane ji, आपका सबके popularity आपका सब अच्छा है, लेकिन आप ये नहीं कर रहे. आपको ये करना चाहिए, आपको ये करना चाहिए, आपको ये करना चाहिए, आपको ये करना चाहिए. मैं बोला क्या करना चाहिए? आपका हफ्ते में 4 दिन मेरा है, 3 दिन जो मर्जी आए करो. मैं क्या करता हूँ? काम ही करता हूँ सुबह से उठ के. Today morning 6:30 I got up. I was just dealing with which patient has to go where. Why do we recommend to patients? Why do we ask that, please take care of the people? People expect us to actually put in a word. They feel if I put in a word, maybe they'll get a little better care or they'll get whatever it is. Not because the nurses don't care. I want to make myself very clear today. This is an excellent platform. It's because many times local purchases have to be made. Medicines have to be procured. So that ward is well equipped, so that you are able to give the right type of treatment protocol and back up the doctors. When a doctor comes and does his procedure and goes, whose responsibility is this? It is you nurses who watch that monitor and continuously keep updating the system on the station system that is there, exactly what is happening. Doctor does his procedure. He does it diligently and he goes. After that, it is you who are actually looking after the patient and taking care. It is you who are saving the life of the patient along with the doctor. And we are proud of it that Goa and parameters as far as Goa is concerned, and with the vision of the Prime Minister, let me tell you, when I was talking to the Honorable Prime Minister, sitting in front of him, I became very emotional. I get very scared of my Prime Minister. I get very scared because when he speaks, you have to speak actually what you want to speak. You should be well aware why you are actually sitting there. And whenever I have met him, he has always asked and inquired about my father and asked him how is his health. Both of them were chief ministers at the same time. And then I explained to him, nursing community is a community, or whether it's a WCD worker is another community that knows so much about the systems in which they work in. And we need to see that they are encouraged to move in that particular manner. And especially all the young nurses, many of you are getting jobs just like that. Because I am the minister concerned, you come in and you automatically, anybody is there, I give the job. Because they are educated. You don't need recommendation from anybody. You don't need recommendation from anybody for a job. You can directly apply and get inside. That is the system that we follow. And when you come in, one thing keep in mind is that you have come here with a passion to serve the people. Even us, when we get up in the morning, people come with expectations. Somebody wants to study, somebody is not well, somebody's patients are in hospital and they need care. Selflessly you have to do all that. Today as I conclude, I said I'll come for half an hour and I'll leave. I just want to say that you are that force that is required in every state and you are doing a phenomenal job. This conference will educate you on various modules that are there. But only thing what I want to say that you are not just nurses. You are the last defense. And what she said that you are the last defense, you are the last defense. And you have to prove it that you are the last defense and take it. Like I said, it's not just, you are not just guards like you are holding a weapon, but I said you have got skillful hands, unbreakable hearts and smart minds. It is not that you are standing like a guard there next to them, you are standing next to a patient. You are holding a weapon. But what is your weapon? Your weapon comes in a form of a smart mind, skillful hands and unbreakable hearts. I think you need to interpret and understand what actually I am trying to say to you. And this is very important. I today am very proud to be amongst you. And all of you understand one thing. जायते पेपरान येता जायते उलयतात लोक विश्वजीत राणे सामको अग्रेसिव्ह झाला आयज लोक म्हणटा विश्वजीत राणे उलयत ना उलयना तेन्ना मी म्हणटा उलयना आयज खुबशे कडेन उलयता लोक अरे राणे कितें जाला तो उलयत ना लोग बोलते हैं कि मैं बात ही नहीं करता हूँ मैं तो चुप बैठा हूँ हाउ देव कार्य भी खूब करता हांगा गोवा में हिंदू क्रिश्चियन मुस्लिम साथ में रहते हैं ईद है तो हम सब ईद उनके घर जाते हैं क्रिसमस है तो उनके घर जाते हैं मैं सेंट एंटनी में हिंदू हूँ लेकिन सेंट एंटनीज चैपल को मैं संभालता हूँ क्रिश्चियन कम्युनिटी का कोई नहीं संभाल रहा है मैं ही संभालता हूँ उधर जब इन्फेंट्रीज को उतारते हैं मुझे पहला अधिकार मिलता है वो मेरे हाथ में लेने के लिए So what I am trying to say, we live in a very different type of cultural environment in the state of Goa and we need to respect that. And all of you are very precious to us. State government will always be with you. We are in the process of doing something new. Before the election, I have to say before the election because election is coming. Before the election, we will do it in a very different way where every aspect is respected and looked at. I am not going to nitty-gritty and technicals of all this because technical team is here, Vyasji is here, Madam is here, everybody is here to educate you on everything. We are also we are building a new cancer hospital. We will have another 500-600 nurses created there. So you will get a job, but we are training those nurses now with Tata Memorial so that you become indispensable. What I consider a nurse to be a very exportable commodity, but I don't want to export you anywhere. Exportable in terms of education, we should be employable anywhere. And actually, when we are educating nurses in this college here and in this institution here, that will be of benefit to you. I just want to say one thing. Wish you all the best. You all will have the highest respect in my heart and in my mind. If I say in my mind, that's like a normal speech, but in my heart. You live there, and I have not been a health minister out of because somebody asked me to be a health minister. That's out of choice. I have become the health minister every time. I ask for that portfolio. I say first discussion is health. After health, you tell me other things. Other things don't matter to me. Health matters because with health, you are able to reach and make a change in people's life and save people's life. And saving a mission is our mission. It's that mission we should take and move forward. I am really happy that my classmate also got an IT, so always writing an award. And she will tell you that in college I should not speak. I was in college, I should not speak, I should be very quiet. And actually, time changes you. My father was also chief minister here for more than 21 years. And he was very close to the nursing community. And he was the one who actually brought transformation in the nursing, education and everything. Because first decision he took when he became Chief Minister after the gap is to build a nursing institute. But it requires a lot of care and attention, which I have already moved to put it to make it a class institute. There will be no nursing college or hostel that way what we are planning to do, so that we are proud of it. I don't want to say much, but I said a few things. I told you about my daughter. My daughter, when she was born, I was told that she will have no life. And she said there's 50% chance, and the doctor told me that there is only 50% chance for you to save a life. And use your influence. I was in opposition, my father was in opposition at that time. Use your Speaker of the Assembly, I'm sorry. And Mr. Manoj Parrikar was the Chief Minister, or somebody else was the Chief. I don't know, Goa, बहुत change was time we called her. कोई तो था. Lekin, he told me that 50%, but we didn't do so. She got septicemia, she got everything possible, but that nursing community played a very big role. I actually hired 2 nurses. Today they are in the government. And they actually, day and night, they used to be next to the child, and they used to see that at that time there were no high-tech incubators. At that time, tube lights were used as warmers. It was so basic. You will not believe. Milk also used to be fed with a cotton, and it used to be dipped in cotton and used to be given. But today she is 26 years old. It is a hope, and with what compassion and with commitment that you work, can change somebody's life and make that person live and have a great life ahead. It is not something that you need to give up hope at that point of time. There was a time in which I said after 6 months, whether the child can hear, child cannot hear, or child's mental, this thing has to be checked. So they do the mapping of the brain also to see whether the child. There are a lot of things that needs to be done, but it takes a lot of trauma on the parents. That's why parents sometimes get very irritable and are unable to wait for answers, and that's where you come in. That compassion with which you work and the nursing community deals with the families, that goes a very long way. I don't want to take much time, but this is how it is. Life goes on in this particular manner. We are trying to see that every aspect, and you will not believe, today there is something called the Pediatric Neuro Rehab. I am paying the salaries myself from my own pocket. IVF also I have only started. And all their salaries I give. So just for you to know, that is the type of passion I have. I am waiting for the government still to clear appointing them, but I am paying the salaries from my own pocket. Only so that the children, those physiotherapists and those children get that type of care. Even splits what is given to the children, I am paying that guy who comes, one Rajay who comes from Bombay and giving it, just because I have gone through this in my life. Botox also, I used to give free to the patients when I was in Bombay, to every Goan who used to come there. I was not in politics then, but it used to cost 37,000 rupees a while in those days. And then you have to paralyze, it gives temporary paralysis of the muscle so that you get chance to play around with physiotherapy so that it remains, the effect remains for a longer period. Lots has happened, lots happens, and today what you're seeing is totally different. I'm trying my best to see that we integrate a system. We're getting a couple of doctors from Bombay to see that we have centers of excellence, and we train the nurses in those fields so that you're not transferable from that. We'll take your consent and see that you want to work in a particular department. It's easy to transfer from here to there, but if you remain in a department over a longer period, then you learn what is required. It's important. Wishing you all the best. Don't want to take much time. My mentor is sitting here. She gives me pep talk after she comes to my office. She'll tell me whether I spoke to the point or I deviated from the point. So basically, she's been with me on this journey of last 20 years, and wishing you all the best. Yash she has come. इधर गोवा में कैसे होता है कि it is a personal connect with everyone. In larger state, that connect is not there. It's like a disconnect. But here we have to work integrated, because ultimately I'll either see you, I'll see her somewhere, I'll see somebody else somewhere. It is just a relationship that builds up. Here there is no minister and nurse relationship. It is only compassion, commitment that matters. And that's what gives you respect in this state. Wishing you all the best. Thank you so much.